In this first moment, we turn to our breath. We arrive on our mat. Maybe just acknowledge what got you on your mat today, what led you to your practice right now. It can be really challenging to stay with our practices, our habits, our good habits during this time when we're at home. So just honor that you did that today. You came today, you showed up today on your mat or without a mat to practice. And that's very special. A few more breaths here. Allow the breath to be gentle and even, constant. And then with your next inhale, you're going to rise up onto your knees. And you can separate your knees if they're really close together. I'm going to take our right arm up. I'll mirror you, your right arm up. You're going to bend the elbow. And just going to bring the hand behind your head. And then gently press the head back into the forearm. Use your feet a lot. So keep pressing into your feet. Whether the feet are flat or the toes are tucked, use your feet. I like to go toenails down, but that's going to be up to you. And then just take a side bend. Really nice. Rise back up to center. Take both arms up. And then switch. Level the pelvis. Send the tailbone to the backs of the knees. Lift the front hip points up. Gently press the head back into the arm. And then side bending again. Can you use your toes a little more? Can you use the tops of your feet a little bit more? And then rise back up. Both arms up. So just like if you were in Utthita Hastasana on your feet, finding your center here, finding like this center of Tadasana, of this nice neutral spine, the extension of the arms. Even though we're not on our feet, we're on our knees, we're using our feet and our knees as our foundation. Can you find that center? So when we change our foundation from familiar to a little less familiar, we start to find new things. Maybe you notice here you're using your hips a little more to support this. Your glutes are a little more active than you would feel if you were standing. And you engage from belly button to pubic bone, from sternum to belly button. A few more breaths here. And then release your hands down. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. You can turn your fingers a little bit open if your shoulders are tight or if it even just feels good. And then with an inhale, pull the heart forward. Lift the gaze, lift the tailbone, lift the crown of the head. And as you exhale, rounding the back into cat's pose. Maybe push into the tops of the feet and float the knees up off the ground. Inhale. Pull the heart through, lift the tail, lift the heart, cow pose. Exhale, draw the front body in, push into the hands, drop the head. Consider pushing into the feet and lifting the knees off the floor. We're just gonna keep moving like that. You've got lots of time, but find your rhythm. Whatever your rhythm is, it doesn't have to be the same as mine. One more round. Come back through neutral. Your hands can stay open like this if it feels good on your shoulders, or you can start to move the crease of the wrist more toward parallel to the front of the mat. I really encourage you to play with your hand position when you're in anything that's in your hand, so that you start to feel where you're happiest. Tuck your toes. Keep your knees bent. Just pick your knees up off the ground, and then take your chest toward your thighs. So you're in a really big bend in downward facing dog. So big bend in the knees, giving the spine tons of length. And then slowly start to straighten the legs any amounts. Maybe the heels move toward the floor. Thighs move back. And just center your breath. So we use downward facing dog a lot in these vinyasa classes. So it's important that it is a strong pose, a connected pose, and that you've got your key alignment points here. Putting as much weight toward the legs as you have in the upper body, and it might require you to bend your knees a little bit to get more weight into your lower body, so that you're not all up in your shoulders and in your wrists. Press into all of the fingertips, all of the knuckles, the base of the index finger, the thumbs, and then energetically you're pulling your thumbs toward each other and spiraling your pinky fingers open. And then you're shooting energy up the arms. The triceps are pressing inward, the biceps are pressing outward. If you can, ears right between the biceps so that your ears kind of match the arms. Really nice. Stay in your breath. If you are very bendy here, try to connect the front ribs, the belly into the back body. Right leg back with your inhale. Turn the right hip open, the knee, the toes, and then lift the leg higher, keeping the leg straight. Take a few breaths here. Keep it open. Take an inhale to get as long as you possibly can, and then exhale, right knee to right tricep, nice and wide. Inhale, come through center, neutralize the hips, and then exhale, right knee to left tricep. Inhale, take the leg back, and then exhale, place your foot between your hands. Bring your back knee down to the ground. Release the foot if it's okay, so the toenails are on the floor, and then push into your front heel to lift up through the pelvis and through the spine, and then send the arms up to the sky. Anjaneyasana. So your front foot is catching you, your back knee all the way down the shin into that foot is pressing down, and then energetically you're drawing the legs toward each other. You're scissoring the legs together. One more inhale. Exhale, release your hands down, straighten your front leg, draw your toes toward your heart, deepen the crease of the right hip and send your heart forward. One more inhale. Exhale, bend the front leg. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands down, shift your hips back. Inhale, rising up. So we're just moving between these two poses. Exhale, take it back, half splits. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. As you're here and moving, maybe you don't need your hands on the floor. Maybe you just start to float the arms up. Inhaling. You float the arms back. Exhaling. Let's go one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Shift forward. forward, hands down to the ground. Take this back foot, this left leg, turn it over to the right. So the shin of your left leg, of your back leg, is parallel to the back of your mat. Bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot, or bring your right forearm onto your right thigh. And then opening up, we're in a modified side angle, modified Parsvakonasana. And then top arm either straight up to the sky or overhead. Use this left foot down on the ground. Good, bring your left hand around. Just shift your hips back, keep everything where it is. Yeah. And then come back around. Straighten out that back leg. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Inhale and plank. Use your knees if you need to. Lower all the way to your belly, elbows hugging into the sides. Take your hands off of your mat, come onto your fingertips, wrap your elbows back and in, and then come into this variation of cobra where you're up on the fingertips. So the hands are kind of tenting. Push the tops of the feet down, firm the thighs. Last inhale, soften down, and then downward facing dog, pressing up and back. So this is not a resting pose. This is active, it's awake, but it is like a home base. So every time you come here, check back in with your breath, check in with your thoughts. This practice is about self-awareness, uncovering your deepest self that we sometimes hide under layers of all sorts of nonsense. So this is your time to really tune in. Left leg back, inhale. Keep the leg straight, open the hip, the knee and the foot turn toward the left. Lift a little higher, inhale. And then exhale, stay open, bring that left knee to your left tricep. Inhale, square the hips and reach the leg back. Exhale, cross over to your right. Inhale back. And then place your foot between your hands. I'm getting all sorts of cracks in my hips. It feels so good. And then release the foot, rise up. Anjaneyasana. All those same contact points. Front foot pushing down to lift you. Back leg actively pressing down, and then everything draws to center. One more inhale. Release your hands down. Ardha Hanumanasana, straightening the front leg, deepening the crease of that left hip, lengthening the spine forward. And just notice how this side feels in comparison with the first side. Don't make any assumptions about it. My left hip is a little cranky with me right now, so I'm going to be very careful in this next section when we are moving in and out of the two poses. And just that's the kind of feedback, that's the awareness that I'm requesting of you, so that you really take care of yourself. Rebend the front leg. Rise. Inhale. Exhale. Sink back. Half splits. Inhale. Rise. Exhale. Sink back. Maybe you start to float those arms. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Your exhale takes you back. Rising, inhale. Shifting back, exhale. One more round, inhale. Send your hips back, exhale. Come forward, both hands down. Turn your right foot over to the left. Left arm on your thigh or hand at the floor. Modified Parshva Konasana. So you're sinking the hips down. When you get here, your knee ideally is on top of your heel. It's a really safe place for that front knee. Push into this back foot, this back shin, and then wrap the chest open a little more. Last inhale. And then exhale, release the hands, just shifting back. Keep all things the same, just send the weight back. Come back around to the top of your mat. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Strong inhale, plank. Chaturanga or the floor, exhale. Inhale, rising, upward facing dog. And downward facing dog, exhale. Pause here, breathe. Inhale, high to your toes, bend your knees, look at the top of your mat, walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale, fold, exhale. Rise to stand, inhale, and hands into your heart, exhale. Sweep the arms up to the sky and just pause here, just pause. So just as we did when we were kneeling, notice how this feels now versus when we were kneeling. For me, it feels really different. I feel like I don't have to do quite as much work through here to stabilize. So can I find some of that work without it being like, right? Like it's just the balance of ease and work, ease and work, ease and work. But awareness of how strong I am through here, how I level the pelvis, how I lengthen the spine without just collapsing into a back bend. The energy in the arms that you have in downward facing dog. One more breath in, please. And bring your hands into your heart. So beautiful. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, bow forward. Long spine to come down. Inhale, half forward fold. Plant your hands, chaturanga, exhale. Rise, upward facing dog, inhale, use your feet. Downward facing dog, exhale. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale, high to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, feet to your hands. Halfway up, inhale. Fold down, exhale. Rise to stand, inhale. And draw your hands to your heart, exhale. Hi baby, it's my baby. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, open, rise. Downward facing dog, exhale. Regroup, breath, thoughts, body, what's happening? Stay connected. High to your toes, inhale. Bend your knees, look where you're going, feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Rise to stand, inhale. Draw your hands to your heart, exhale. Again, moving on the breath, rise, inhale. Bow, exhale. Halfway, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Rise up, dog. Down, dog. Exhale. Right leg back, inhale. Keep your hips neutral. Right knee, right tricep, exhale. Inhale back. Cross to the left, exhale. Inhale back. Exhale, place your foot between your hands. Stay high in the back toes, rise to crescent pose. So just like we did in Anjaneyasana, push into that front heel. Lift the pelvis, lift the spine, and then sink down. Inhale. If you can, stay on those back toes. It's going to be a balance pose. Inhale, straighten the front leg. So you're on the front foot and the back toes, yeah? Bow forward over that front leg. Maybe arms stretch back behind you, as if you had a block between your hands. Squeeze the hands in toward your spine. Good, release your hands down. Back heel turns in. Side angle Parsvakonasana. So your right hand can stay blocker floor outside, blocker floor inside, arm to thigh. You make the call, rolling open here. Extending the top arm if it's okay for you. One more inhale. Release your hand down. Come up onto the back toes. Pull from the front leg. Pull from the front leg, from the heel. Push from the back toes. If you want, you're going to hold on to your right ankle or your calf, and you're going to lift off into standing splits. Bring your feet together, top of your mat. Chair pose, inhale. Chair pose, inhale. Neutral spine, so contain the front ribs, but don't contain the front ribs at the expense of rounding your back. So that would be containing my front ribs, and now I'm in flexion. Stay neutral. Hands into your heart. Take your left arm outside your right thigh, and then gently twist open to the right. See if you can drop your hips lower than your heart. Gently press the palms together to roll the chest open. Notice if the left knee starts to kind of wrap forward and the right hip just falls back behind you. Try to stabilize the legs so that when the legs are stable, you're actually twisting from your spine as opposed to just kind of shifting, yeah? 2 more breaths, you got this. Forward fold, top of the mat. Pull the heart forward. You've got a couple options here. So you're going to pick up your heels and bring your knees into your triceps if you want. Keep your hips up really high for this first one. So if you want, we're working on the setup for Bakasana. Knees into triceps, hips up high, and then just feel your weight shift into your hands. If that doesn't feel good, come into a toe stand and work on the strength of the ankles here. Yeah? If you're comfortable in crow, you're just taking this, you're shifting it forward. Thumbs pull toward each other. Pick up your feet, big toes touching. Gaze forward, heart forward. Chaturanga. Everybody, flow through. And we meet in downward facing dog. Just receive all of that. Feel your breath. Check in. How'd that feel in your body? What thoughts came up as a result of that pose? If it's something that you are proficient at, did you feel that little like, yes, 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 I got this? And that's okay. But can we be a neutral observer? And if it's something that's eluding you, if you haven't been able to master Bakasana, don't worry about it. How does that affect your thoughts? How does that affect your breath? Does it pull you out of your practice? Come back to the breath over and over and over again. Left leg back, inhale. Left knee, left tricep, exhale. Inhale back. Exhale, cross and tap right. Inhale back. Place your foot between your hands. Rise up by pushing into the front heel, by lifting the pelvis, lifting the spine, crescent pose, arms to sky. Feet draw toward each other, feet draw toward each other. One more inhale. And then start to straighten the front leg. And if you can, you're going to stay up on the back toes with that heel lifted, which makes this a little bit of a balance pose. And then you hinge from that left hip. And you stretch the arms back behind you. And as if you had something between the hands to squeeze onto, pull them in toward the center line of your body. Press into the big toes. Two more breaths. Rebend that front leg. Side angle. Back heel turns down. Wrapping open. Yes. Well done, well done. So this top arm can be straight up or extended, and then the palm presses down to give the arm energy. So it's not like a graceful ballerina arm. Oh. Instead, it's energized. Yeah. One more inhale. Release the right hand down, come onto the back toes. So we've got a transition from this very, very long stance into standing splits. Pull from your front heel. Push from your back toes. Maybe hold on to this left leg as you come up and find your standing split here. Bring your feet together. Inhale, Utkatasana. Hands into your heart, and then right arm outside of your left thigh, and we twist. Yes. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe, stay with it, stay with it. One more inhale. Release through center. Toe stand again. Or Bakhasana again. Really good. So in Bakhasana, there's a little bit of trust, a lot of physics, and medium strength. Trust that you can come forward. Use your fingertips. It's all physics there. Yeah. And then everything draws to center. One more inhale wherever you are. Chaturanga. Exhale. Rise. Inhale. And dog. Exhale. Pause here in your breath. Always coming back to your breath. Always, always coming back to your breath. So we're going to take that sequence. We're just going to move with it a little bit faster, and we're going to add some little shifts and changes in here and there. It's in you. Trust yourself. All the poses are in you. Come back to your breath over and over again. If my rhythm doesn't match your rhythm, you find your rhythm. You do you. Right leg back, inhale. Right knee, right tricep. Inhale back. Cross left. Inhale back, and then exhale, right foot next to your right hand. Crescent pose, inhale. Straighten the front leg, exhale, Bowing over the front leg and reaching back with the hands. Side angle, Parsvakonasana. Root that back foot down, wrap open. And then release the hands around. Square the back hip. So first lift the back heel and then standing splits, draw, lifting up. Feet together, top of your mat. Utkatasana, chair. Hands to heart. Left arm outside your right thigh. Inhale. Exhale, release through center. Toe stand or Bakasana, lifting off. And then Chaturanga, exhale. Rise, inhale. So good. Down dog, exhale. Left leg back, inhale. Left knee, left tricep, exhale. Inhale back. Cross right. Inhale back. Place your foot next to your left hand. Crescent, rising up. Straighten the front leg. Woo, bowing forward. Side angle. Open up, root the back heel. Releasing down. Reset. Take your time here. Standing splits to lift up. And then bring your feet together, top of the mat. Chair, inhale. Twist to your left. Take an inhale. And then exhale, release through center. Knees into your triceps or toe stand. Chaturanga, exhale. Rise, inhale. And dog, exhale. Right knee pulls to your chest. Place your right foot between your hands. Bring your hands to your heart. Left arm outside of your right thigh, twisting here. Hug your right hip in, pull it back. One more inhale. Exhale, back heel roots down. That's going to draw us up and out to reverse warrior. Up and back. One last inhale. Bring your hands around. Vashisthasana, left hand, left foot. You know what, bring your right hand down to the ground. Just come onto your fingertips. So you're on your left hand, your right hand is really light on the ground here. So there's this sense of twisting here. Beautiful, yeah. And then without losing a little bit of that, open back up. So now we're rolling the shoulder open, but you're really using these muscles here to support yourself. And this top hip is coming forward. Last inhale, all the way down to your belly with your exhale. Take your hands behind your hips, lace your fingers, release the feet and then float them up. Shalabhasana. Good, hands next to the rib cage, tuck the toes, inhale, press straight up to plank, exhale, take an inhale, dog pose, exhale, nice work, left knee to your chest, place your foot forward, stay down, stay forward, nice deep bend in the front leg, hands to your heart, right thigh pushes to the sky, and then hook your right arm outside your left thigh, and we twist. Really good. So the same energy that we had in crescent pose when we were lifted, draw the feet toward each other. Send energy out the crown of your head and back through that back heel. Last inhale. Root the back heel. That pulls us around and we reverse our warrior. Hello. One more inhale. And then exhale, bring it around. You're gonna pause. Come onto the left fingertips. I was gonna say the wrong side, but I caught myself. Left fingertips. Right hand, right foot. So starting Vashisthasana from this little bit of a twist. Now, keep that left hip forward. Just open up the chest. Push the pinky side of that right foot down. Pull your toes toward your heart. Last inhale. And come around slowly to your belly again. Switch the waist of your fingers. Shavasana again. Stretching the feet back, crown of the head forward. One more inhale. Release the feet down. Bring the hands next to the ribcage. Tuck your toes. Inhale. Exhale. Push straight up to plank. Scoop the belly up and in. And then downward facing dog. Really, really beautiful. Take a pause here. Recenter. Reset. So we're going to go back to that first sequence with some more additions. Little shifts. It's in you, I promise you. Right leg back, inhale. Right knee, right tricep, exhale. Inhale back. Draw across to the left, little pause. Inhale back. And then exhale, right foot next to your right hand. Stay low, bring your hands to your heart, and then twist. Bring this elbow outside the thigh. Really nice. Come back through center. You're gonna straighten that front leg and melt over. Side angle, opening up. Release it back down. Square that back leg, so wrap up onto the toes, standing splits, maybe both hands to that standing leg. And then feet together. Come into chair. And then bring your hands down to the ground. Yeah, turn your knees to the left. Good, I'm gonna kind of go on an angle here. So you're gonna turn your knees to the left. Bring your hands to the floor. Actually, I'll start here so that you're square to the front of your mat. I think you can see well enough. This is perfect. You stay here in toe stand with your hands here and you're working open. I'll give you this view, okay? So this is perfect. This doesn't have to change. Work the feet, work the ankles, work the arms. You can be on fingertips or flat hands. If you want, you're trying to get this left arm as high up on the right thigh as you can. And then you tip forward. You think chaturanga in the arms. And then you find side crow. Thumbs in, pinky fingers out. Heart forward, gaze forward. And then we go to chaturanga. You can either tap down. If you're really good in side crow, you can shoot it back through vinyasa to downward facing dog. Pause, breathe, regroup. Left leg back, inhale. Left knee, left tricep, exhale. Inhale back. Cross, little pause. Inhale back. And then left foot next to your left hand. Stay low, bring your hands into your heart, and then take your right arm outside of your left thigh, and we twist. Stay on the back toes. Come back through center. Start to straighten the front legs, sweep the arms back. Melt forward. Side angle, back heel roots down. Wrap open. And then standing splits, top of the mat. So give yourself this transition to bring the hip back around. Maybe both hands on the standing leg. And then chair, top of the mats. Sink down, bring your hands down, knees to your right. Stay here, feel the twist, work the ankles, try to take the outer ankles in, or if you want, hands come flat. Try to get this elbows high up on that left thigh as you can, and then lift off. Squeeze the legs together. So you might even start to feel light in that left hand. If you've been doing this pose for a while and you feel good, you might even pick that hand up or take it out to the side more. And then wherever you are, we're gonna go back, chaturanga, last vinyasa. So good. Through to down dog, pause in down dog, and then walk your hands back to your feet. Whole hand under your foot, Pada Hastasana. So you can have bent knees here. You do not have to jam your legs straight. If you feel good with straight legs, go for it. Lengthen halfway. Exhale, melting down. Inhale, heart forward. Release your hands. Walk back out to downward facing dog. Nice and slow. Try not to swing side to side. Contain your center. Contain your center. And then pause. Right knee draws to your chest. Single leg pigeon. If you prefer a different version of this pose, you will do that instead. So more than where to place your front foot, where to place your back foot, find your center so that you feel balanced here. So for most of us, right knee wider than right hip feels good. You do not have to move your shin toward the front of the mat. You can have your foot as close in toward that left hip as you need it to be so that you feel comfortable. Back leg is strong. Push down into that back foot. Give it some energy. But again, more than anything, do you feel centered here? Do you feel like if you picked up your arms or something, you would fall off the edge of the cliff? No falling off the cliff. Find your center and then breathe. It's amazing sometimes the positions that we'll put ourselves in, and I mean, some of these poses feel crazy, I get that, but sometimes even in things that are familiar that we do on the regular, we put ourselves in these crazy positions and then we stay there thinking that we need to be unbalanced and be all wonky. We don't have to. Just find your center, find your breath, find the ease, balance it with the work. Last 2 breaths here. And then simply switch sides, whatever that looks like for you. check in. Notice what you find on the second side. Don't make assumptions based on the first side. Fresh eyes on every moment of every pose. Last couple breaths here. Don't leave me now. Stay with it. Stay in your awareness. Stay in your breath. Stay in your body. We're going to come out of here and onto your back so you can transition however you would like. And we're going to do some back bends. So if you have a block at home and you want to take a restorative back bend the whole time, you can just put a block under your sacrum and take supported bridge for the duration. If you don't have a block, come with me. It's a good reason to come with me. All right, press your feet down, press your shoulders down. Setu Bandha Sharvangasana, shoulder, Sharva, supported bridge pose. So the shoulders have a big roll here. Press the shoulders down. Lengthen out the low back. Take any wrinkles in your low back and get rid of them. Maybe lace the hands behind the hips. And then open the heart toward your chin. So less about jamming your hips up and more about opening from this thoracic spine, this upper back, heart toward chin. Can you press the big toes down a little more, the inner foot? One more inhale. And then releasing down with your exhale. Take a pause. How did that feel? What do you need next? If you want to repeat that, we'll repeat it. If you would like to move into Urdhva Dhanurasana, I'm going to go there now. If you want to lie and breathe, great. You choose. Bridge, upward facing bow. The hands come back by the shoulders and ears. And then rise up. Last inhale, and then down, exhale. Take a pause, receive it. How did that feel? And then one more if it's there for you. If not, enjoy where you are. If you want, inhale, rise back up. Last inhale, and then down, exhale. Take your feet wide as your mat probably, and drop your knees into each other. We did a lot of work in your hands if you did all of the arm balances and everything, so if you need a little wrist action here, go for it, reverse it, whatever feels good. And then either happy baby or knees to chest, whatever feels better to you. So as we come toward the end of the practice, when we're not flowing, can you stay constant in your breath still? Can you stay here in your practice? It's so easy to just turn off your device and leave, but can you stay through? Can you make the full practice? Because the best stuff is just coming now. Good. You're going to find your way to seated. Just rock your way up or roll over and come on up. And then legs out in front. I like to wriggle around a little bit to get my sitting bones to root down. And then you're going to glide your right foot to your inner left thigh. You can kind of help it forward. Inhale, or help it up, I should say. Lift the spine. Feel this foundation here. Sitting bones. This leg, this right leg out to the side, this left leg pressing down. Can you lift up even more? So again, foundation has changed, but that same lifting, that same alignment as we had kneeling, as we had standing in Utthita Hastasana. One more inhale, and then coming forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, melts. Pull your heart forward, inhale. Exhale, release. Release the leg out. Take the same level of care coming into the second side as we did on the first side. Give yourself a few breaths here. Find your center. And then coming forward as you're ready. Inhale for length. And then exhale, deepening in. Feel the left hip drawing away from the heel moving forward away from the hip. The heart shining on the top of that foot. Sorry, I'm mirroring you. Your right leg is extended. I'm terrible at mirroring. This is why I don't usually do it. I just forget, that's all. Inhale, rise up. And then bring the soles of your feet together, Baddha Konasana. Lift up through the heart, and then exhale, come forward. Congratulate yourself for being here. I'm proud of you for being here. I'm thankful that you're here, and I'm humbled that you chose to take my class. Inhale, rise up. Come back down onto your backs, and we'll set up. First, taking a twist if it suits you. I'm going to roll all the way over to the right side. Open up the left arm. Bring that left arm back to the right, and then roll all the way over second side. So facing the left, stack everything. Keep that left shoulder heavy, just opening up that right arm. As we slow down, the breath fluid, definitely a little softer. We're starting to really quiet. What can you let go of here that you don't need to bring into Shavasana or even bring out of this practice? Come back into, actually come back the way you came in. And then roll back to center. We'll be the same on both sides. And we set up for Shavasana now. Every time we practice, we travel through ourselves. We find a deeper version of ourselves every single time, even when it's not your favorite class, even when it's your favorite class. We come out different. We come out differently. And Shavasana is this moment of letting go of what we were to welcome in this new. So it's this rebirth. So while it's corpse pose, it's a rebirth. So release your hands. Release your eyes, your breath, your body. And in order to shed things that we don't need, thoughts, patterns, tightness, can be physical, can be emotional, any host of things, you really kind of give yourself the liberty to let go if you can surrender. If you can encourage yourself to surrender, which is really hard, requires trust. I promise I will pull you out of Shavasana at the right moment. Just surrender your weight to the floor, your breath to the systems of your body that keep you alive. Surrender your thoughts to this amazing mind you have that needs a break so much of the time. Allow your body to stay still and just start to deepen the breath. So come back to that longer inhale. It can still be soft, that full exhale. And as the breath deepens, just notice the body moving from the breath. And then as you're ready, reach the arms overhead. Bend your knees. Roll over to your right side. And then from there, come all the way to seated, sitting bones rooted, or you can sit however you want and come full circle to Thunderbolt if you'd like. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Take a few rounds of breath here. Just feel how you feel. What did you get from your practice today? Sometimes we don't feel a massive epiphany with every single practice, but we're still different as a result of it. Maybe it's a little subtler on some days, it's a little bigger on others. And it may not show up in this moment, it might show up later. But just feel what you feel. Bring your hands into your heart, lift your heart into your hands, and then bow your mind to your heart. Yoke your body and your mind as one. Rise with your inhale. I thank you for being here. Namaste.